Okay, so it is episode 7 of Fierce Live Connection. It's just about 10:30. Good morning. I hope you are all well and healthy. It is Tuesday, March 24th. So far I'm alone, which is actually making me rethink the way I'm doing this. The initial idea of this is that people would be joining me, and we'd be talking together. So it's as if we can be connected, even though we're not able to be in each other's physical company. But so far, that is not seeming to have the effect I assumed it would have, which leads me to wonder if I change what I'm doing. I think it might be sort of boring to just look at my face talking for half an hour. Um, so I might do something different if something doesn't change this week. And I'm not getting much feedback either, so I don't honestly know how many people are watching this or enjoying it or whatever. I'm enjoying it, so I guess I'm definitely going to keep doing it because I like it. Okay, so I'm going to start the meditation. It is just about 10:30. I'm going to give people another minute to show up if anyone wants to show up. I'm going to do a little bit today. We're going to be doing a quiz. So if you can get a pencil or pen and paper to do a short quiz on can you read body language? But we're going to be doing the meditation in 1 minute. And then, what was I going to do today? I think I was mainly going to do that, chat about some stuff. All right. So I'm going to slide over so you can see that in the back of my chair while I do the meditation. Okay, but people on the Zoom, which there is no one right now, can see this lovely screenshot. Okay, all right, starting the meditation. Okay, so take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale. And just start to relax. Pay attention to where you're feeling the breath. Inhale through your nose and exhale. And as you're inhaling and exhaling in the beginning here, just try to notice where you might be feeling the breath, whether it's in your nose or in your chest or in your belly. And as you inhale, also try to direct the energy of the breath to anywhere that might be feeling tension. And as you exhale, start to feel that tension dissipate. Okay, now I invite you to imagine that you're standing on a path at the edge of a small forest. And the sun feels warm on your back. as you face the opening in the trees. You can feel a cool breeze from the forest inviting you to enter. And the path is clear and broad, so it's easy to follow. All around you, you can hear birds chirping. And you take a few more steps on the path. And the peace you feel in this forest is complete. You're aware of small animals around you, like squirrels or rabbits or foxes playing. You can hear the sound of more birds. And as you walk on, you begin to hear the sound of running water. And you can tell that the water is gentle as you continue in the direction of the sound of the water. As you walk, you can also feel leaves under your feet and small branches on the ground. And it feels good to have your feet touching the earth in this way. And you continue walking in the direction that you hear the water. Shortly in front of you opens a little bit of a clearing in the forest. And in the middle of the clearing is a small pool of water. And the pool is being fed by a stream that you can see coming down a rocky slope. And here in the clearing, there are some rocks that you can sit on. And the rocks are warm because they've been in the sun. And you walk to one of the largest rocks and take a seat on it. And it feels really comfortable to sit on this rock. It's as if it's cradling your body and holding you steady. And as you just sit here for a few minutes in silence, listening to the sounds of the forest and the water all around you, your eyes are closed and your heart is full of joy. In a few moments, you begin to sense the presence of another being in front of you. So you open your eyes, and standing about 6 feet from you is a beautiful doe. And her brown eyes are resting on you. She is completely at ease, and so are you. For some minutes, you sit amazed by this gentle creature just looking at you as if she loves you. She is so calm and assured in your presence that even her ears are motionless. And you're so in awe of her presence that you can't stop looking at her. And it seems as if she's brought a message for you. And across the space between the two of you, she's sending you that message. Somehow you become aware of the message and are ready to receive it from her. So open your heart now and receive her message. Your heart is filled to overflowing with the love and acceptance you are feeling in her message. She stands there for a few moments longer. Then she gently closes her eyes, opens them again for one last look at you, turns around and slowly walks back into the forest. You sit for a moment longer, simply bringing this message that she's brought you into yourself. And then you rise from your spot on the rock and move gently back onto the path and slowly and calmly back to the edge of the forest where you first stepped onto the path. With each step that you take, you find yourself coming back to your own conscious awareness of the room around you. You begin to notice your surroundings. You feel the floor under your body. You slowly move your hands and feet. And with one deep breath and exhale, you've now returned to complete consciousness. And the message from the forest is still with you. And you will take that message back into the rest of your day. Okay, I'm just going to give you a moment to come back. And now I'm coming back. Okay, again, I'm still, one person is waiting, it says. Oh, there's Jessica. Okay, and I'm gonna undo my video. Okay, all right. I'm just trying to get my new setup going here. There we are. Okay, my hair is really weird again. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. That was actually half of a meditation that's about 20 minutes long. I might start doing longer meditations and just posting them, I guess, as audio clips, because you don't need to see me to meditate. And I'm going to try to figure out a better way on the recording so you don't just look at this picture behind me while you're hearing me do the meditation. I'll figure that out too. I think I might be able to figure that out when we switch to YouTube Live. But okay, so I today am grateful for the sun, because yesterday here in New York, it was a terribly rainy, cold day, and I really didn't like it. And my dogs really didn't. I think that's why I didn't like it, because my dogs just aren't into that. But today it's beautiful. I could see like beautiful blue sky. There's hardly any clouds in the sky. It's going to be like in the low 50s Fahrenheit. So today is going to be a nice day. So I'm excited about that. I'm very thankful and grateful for sunlight, especially since we're spending so much time indoors. The couple times a day I do get to get outside with my dogs, I love there to be this brilliant sunlight. So I'm very grateful for that. So take a few moments to think of what you might be grateful for today. And you can write it down or just make a mental note of it. Like I mentioned, I think it's an important exercise to reflect on what we're thankful for. So I wanted to read, I remembered what I wanted to do today. I think I've mentioned before that I had pneumonia last January 2019. And one of the things that the infectious disease doctor who I was seeing at the time told me to do to help me recover was, she told me to eat berries every day, and she told me to take Manuka honey every day, like a spoonful of Manuka honey. And I think that's good advice for everybody now. It's a powerhouse antioxidant. It's not that cheap. So if you go on Amazon, like depending on the brand and the quantity you buy, like I just ordered some and I think it was like $30 a jar. But you know, it's really good. And it lasts a long time. You only need to take like a teaspoon. I'm just moving myself over so I can read. There was research done by Swansea University that shows that Manuka honey is useful in the treatment of deadly lung infections caused by antimicrobial resistant respiratory bacteria. So can't hurt. I highly recommend that everybody consider that. I mean, it's high in sugar, so but it's honey, and I believe. Let me just scoot myself over here again. I believe. Let me see what's the recommended way to take it. Yeah, it says here, Manuka Honey. Let me see, what am I reading from here? I want to make sure I have a good source. Okay, chatelaine.com says, let me just open this up. Oh, this is just a recipe. All right, let me go back. Okay, this is from healthline.com. I prefer this anyway. Okay, so it's from New Zealand, and yeah, it says here that it has antibacterial properties. It's good for digestion. It's obviously good for sore throats, and it's good for oral health. And it's good for treating acne. Yeah, I mean, I guess the main thing I'd worry about is try to be conservative with it because of the sugar quantity. But hey, anything that's good for your lungs right now, I'm all for. So I highly recommend that. I mentioned before I started the meditation that if everybody could get a pen or pencil and paper, we're going to do a short 14-question quiz on can you read body language from this great book, The Big Book of Personality Tests. I really like this. So I thought this would be something fun to do today. Okay, so in this test, I'm just going to, while you're getting your pen and your paper, if you haven't done that already, I'm just going to read the introduction to this. The next time you chuckle at the antics of a comedic duo performing a slapstick routine, you'll notice that two roles are being played. One person gets the pies in the face while the other throws them. Most relationships, curiously enough, are like this. One partner is dominant while the other is submissive. We reveal which role we are in various ways, the most obvious of which is through speech. Phrases like, I'm very sorry, excuse my clumsiness, or may I please, all imply a degree of submissiveness. Phrases like, can you do such and such, will you let me know, or get back to me soon, all reveal the dominant mode. However, dominant or submissive behavior isn't shown only through the things we say. It can also be conveyed non-verbally as well. Can you tell the difference between these roles just by watching two people interact? If you know what to look for, body movements contain signs that are just as telling as words, but not nearly as obvious. Okay, so in this quiz, I'm going to be listing 14 different gestures, and what you need to do, so just number your paper from 1 to 14. I'm going to do it too. I'm just going to number my paper from 1 to 14. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to write if the gesture, if we think that it is a dominant or submissive gesture. Okay. So the first question, shoulder shrugging. So do we think that's a dominant or a submissive gesture? Touching of partner. So I guess if you're hanging out with somebody and you touch them physically, is that a dominant or submissive gesture? Smiling. Is that a dominant or submissive gesture? Interrupting another person while they're talking. Is that a dominant or submissive gesture? Gazing downward, not like what I'm doing, I'm reading, but gazing downward, is that a dominant or submissive gesture? Jerking of head sideways. So my dogs do that a lot. Is that a dominant or submissive gesture? Putting one's hand on one's own body. Is that a dominant or submissive gesture? Gestures with your palms down. Is that dominant or submissive? Tilting head to the side. Okay, I guess that's more the jerking of the head sideways is then. Just like that. Tilting your head to the side. Is that dominant or submissive? Loud, low-pitched voice. Is that dominant or submissive? A very soft voice. Is that dominant or submissive? Fingers spread and pointed toward the person you're speaking to. Is that dominant or submissive? Rotating palms upward when gesturing. Is that dominant or submissive? And sped up speech. Is that dominant or submissive? Now, I haven't taken this test in a long time, so I don't know what I'm going to end up getting myself. Okay, so scoring. All of the even numbered items, if you wrote dominant, give yourself a point. So for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, every time you wrote dominant, give yourself 1 point. I did not do a bunch of them. Okay. The rest should be submissive. So the odd numbered should all be submissive. So I got 9 right. Okay. So here's how you interpret what you got. A score of 4 points or less says you are missing important body cues that may reveal the attitude of others. Point number of 5 to 8, you have an average understanding of dominant or submissive body gestures. And a score of 7 points or more, you have an above average sensitivity to nonverbal cues. Okay, that's cool. I'm just going to read them again. Do we have time? I'm going to read them again so you should know. Shoulder shrugging is submissive. Touching the person you're talking to is dominant. Smiling is submissive. Interpreting your partner's speech is dominant. Gazing downward is submissive. Jerking of the head to the side is dominant. So I'm actually not sure what that means. Putting your hand on your own body is submissive. Gesturing with your palms down is dominant. Tilting your head to your side is submissive. A loud, low-pitched voice is dominant. A very soft voice is submissive. Fingers spread and pointed toward the person you're talking to is dominant. Rotating your palms upward while gesturing is submissive. And sped up speech is dominant. Okay. So the explanation is psychologists have long relied on expressive movements or body cues to probe the inner feelings of people. The study of body movements is a natural outgrowth of this practice. Numerous pop manuals on body language promise to teach people how to read others by presenting a laundry list of postures and definitions of what each movement means. But such popular books are not always reliable. What little we know for sure about body language comes from careful research done by people like anthropologist Dr. David Givens and the late psychiatrist Albert Shefflin. The items in our quiz are taken from their studies. Gestures of dominant persons are usually directed outwardly to another person. A steady, unwavering gaze or the touching of one's partner is a dominant action. And by partner here, I think they just mean who you're talking to. Submissive gestures are usually protective, such as touching one's own body or shrugging one's shoulders. Unfortunately, submissiveness is equated with inadequacy, not by me. But this is not necessarily so. Submissive people are often very happy, well-adjusted, and productive. Furthermore, one isn't always submissive in every situation with all people. More likely, a person displays degrees of dominance and submissiveness at different times depending upon the setting. Assuming a role that is proper in a given situation, of course, is a sign of maturity. So that's interesting. I liked that. The next one I was going to do is Are You Curious? But we'll check that one out either tomorrow or later in the week. So, what's going on? What else can I say? I had cacao nibs today, which I love because cacao is a serious antioxidant. And I like to have those with peanuts. And I had blueberries and I had my nut mix that I talked about yesterday from nuts.com. What else can I tell you today? Oh, I don't know if I'll ever read from this book, but this is one of the funniest books I've ever read in my life. Hyperbole and a Half by Ali Broche. I highly recommend this book. It is seriously hilarious. It's a little bit black comedy-esque, so if you're not into that kind of thing, don't read it. But I think it's hilarious. You can obviously get it on Amazon. My daughter actually loves it as well, though I think some of the things are, well, she's 14, so I guess all the things in there are appropriate. There's nothing too raunchy. It's just adult, I'll say that. But it's hilarious. So I recommend that. And I recommend finding comedy in any way you can. I find comedy in speaking with my mother, who is a serious New Yorker. So I was speaking with my mother yesterday, and she said, Lise, I think Rob, that's my sister's husband, Rob is supposed to go to Las Vegas this week. I hope he'll be okay. And I said, Ma, I don't think Rob is going to Las Vegas or anywhere this week. And she said, I hope he knows about that because I think he's been waiting to go on this trip. And I said, yeah, I don't think so. And then I talked to my sister yesterday and she said, what is she crazy? So I find serious comedy in my mother. I used to have a very tense relationship with my mother, but now I've moved past that and my mother is a hoot. I'll talk more about my mother because she's really funny. She also said that she wants to kill her husband because she can't stand staying in the house with him 24/7 because they both got laid off from work. They both work in restaurants, and so they both got laid off. But she has a big house. She has like a 3-bedroom house with like a downstairs, an upstairs, a downstairs, an attic, a basement, a private backyard. I'm like, I live in like an 800 square foot 2-bedroom apartment. It's virtually impossible for my husband, my daughter, and I to spend too much time away from each other. So if you want to kill somebody in a huge house, then you've got some other issues. But that's what she said. She said, Lisa, I don't know how you do it. I would want to kill him. And I was like, yeah, well, luckily I don't want to kill him. Anyway, so finding the humor is a big thing. Yeah, so we are